Hello and welcome to this video on Module 3, Dementia-Specific Communication. In this stage, we're interested in how carers adapt their communication styles to the changing needs of people living with dementia, who will be experiencing a decline in their mental and physical health. As this happens, the person with dementia will experience changes in their level of functioning. This causes a shift in the carer's responsibilities and the amount and type of assistance they need to provide, including with activities of daily living, or ADLs. Unfortunately, this can make the person with dementia feel over-controlled and distressed, which can lead to confrontations. This animation will introduce the Pool Activity Level Instrument, or PAL. This framework can assist in reducing the likelihood of such confrontations by helping us to use just the right amount of assistance when supporting ADLs, and enhance our communication and caregiving skills. The PAL was devised by occupational therapist Jackie Poole. It's a 4-level framework which helps carers provide the most appropriate level of support. This is important because offering too little assistance could lead to failure, and too much could de-skill the person. The wrong level of support can also lead to feelings of frustration, confusion, and anxiety, so it's important to strike a good balance between challenge and skills. We call this the just right challenge. All people with dementia have some abilities, so the role of the carer is to create an environment where the person can engage in tasks and activities and reach their potential. So how can PAL help us to do this? The PAL describes people's abilities in terms of 4 stages: planned, exploratory, sensory, and reflex. Using the PAL checklist, we can determine what level people are functioning at and match our level of support to their level of ability. Let's look at what each of these stages mean. At the planned stage, the person will have mild dementia, so the carer's role is to optimise independence and existing skills. A person operating at this level will be able to keep a goal in mind and work towards completing activities. But they might struggle with problem solving, so they might need a carer on standby to help with any problems that arise. When communicating, carers should keep sentences short, factual, and simple. Someone operating at the exploratory level likes to be active and occupied, and they're more interested with being engaged in a task than they are in the outcome. They can carry out simple and familiar activities, especially in familiar surroundings. A spontaneous and creative approach can be helpful at this level, and carers can support the person by splitting activities into manageable chunks. Direction should be very simple, and memory prompts such as calendars and labels can be very beneficial. At a sensory level, individuals are more focused on experiencing sensations than completing tasks. They will often smell and feel things and may enjoy non-purposeful walking. They can be guided to carry out a single-step activity like sweeping, and more complex activities can be carried out when directed one step at a time. Carers can also guide people through activities using copying or miming tasks, and focus on giving the opportunity for individuals to experience a full range of sensations. Finally, someone in the reflex stage may not be aware of their environment or even their own bodies. Movement is an unconscious reflex response to a stimulus. Carers should use direct stimulation to increase self-awareness and support an activity. However, be mindful that overstimulation can be distressing, so things like crowds, excessive noise, and bright light should be avoided. Language is less important, and using facial expressions and a warm, reassuring tone at an appropriate volume is vital for communicating. Let's see how we can apply this framework to an ADL like bathing. This is John. He is at the planned level. Although he can do a lot of tasks independently, he may need occasional prompting, especially if there's an unexpected problem, as this can make him frustrated and confused. He can look for things he needs in their normal spot, but if they're not there, he will not look in any other places. When bathing, John will only need a carer on hand to prompt him if he needs. Carers should make sure all the items he needs are in their normal spot and should encourage him to prepare his own bath. This is Mary. She is at the exploratory level. She likes to be in control, but can sometimes get muddled on the order she needs to do things in. Mary will use items if she can see them, but won't look for things in cupboards or drawers. Mary likes to be in control, so when supporting bathing, the carer should create an environment that gives her the best chance of independence. Finding out what time of day Mary would normally bathe could be helpful, and breaking down the tasks into chunks and prompting her at each stage will help her to complete the activity. For example, suggesting she fill the bath, and then gather the things she needs. Putting these items in plain view and labelling them can also help Mary to be independent. This is Fred. He's at the sensory level. Fred struggles to understand instructions and what people are saying to him, and is sometimes confused by what carers are doing and why. He can get overstimulated and doesn't like to be touched during personal care. Fred struggles with verbal communication, so a visual cue would be helpful for him to understand what's happening. Preparing the bath and using familiar scents will help to prompt him. He will need very simple directions, one at a time. For example, wash your hair, wash your body. Miming the actions and offering the items he needs for each step will help him to carry out the task without needing to be touched. This is Nadia. She is in the reflex stage. Nadia can only cope with one sensation at a time, or she might become anxious. She's often unaware of the people around her, especially if they're not directly in front of her, so she can be easily startled. Nadia has lost motor control of her hands, meaning she can struggle to hold onto objects. Nadia will need almost full assistance, but there are still things a carer can do to make the experience more positive. Preparing the bath with familiar scents might help to increase her awareness. Making sure the water and the bathroom are at comfortable temperatures and removing background noises will help to prevent overwhelming sensations. Because she might not be aware of the carer, it's important to establish visual and verbal connection before touching her so she doesn't become startled. Nadia is unable to hold a cloth, so the carer should assist with this, making sure to use firm but slow and gentle movements to avoid over or under stimulation. Although she won't be able to understand language, a warm and friendly tone of voice can still help her to feel at ease. ADLs can be very intimate and invasive, so we want to assist the people we care for in a way that's sensitive, dignified, and empathetic. The PAL instrument allows us to assess the level of support someone will need to carry out an activity, while being mindful of all the abilities they still possess. This means we can match our level of assistance provided to the skills of the person living with dementia, and approach ADLs just right.